Wafungua ushuru kutoroka, huo ni ufisadi. Leo kitawaramba.
Allow me to adapt the protocol that has already been stated here.
Let's take that picture, all smiles, face front.
At a national level, in strategic level, let us look at the fight against corruption in the three main aspects, which I keep on talking about. It may not be in my speech, but I really emphasize that if we want to counter this monster called corruption, there are three main pillars. The political culture of this country must change. If for you to get a political seat, you must go on and bribe, use and quote means, bribing, maybe you want to become an MP, you want to become a governor. The only sensible thing for that man when he takes over the office, he has three priorities. He will tell you, I'm bringing development. But in his heart, that person will have three priorities. One is to recoup what he has spent. Two, he has to accumulate for the next election. Three, if he's a strategist, he has to now think of how he can have extra so that in case he is not re-elected, he is safe, money-wise. So if that political culture of bribery and token is not going to end in this country, please don't make noise saying our politicians are corrupt. The politicians are a product of the society. It's not them. They don't drop from heaven. It's us who make them. Then we have a second option, that is the public. The public must change its culture. There was a time in this country where citizens decided to arrest policemen taking bribes. It was a short-term instinct, but it happened, and policemen refused to take bribes along the roads. Today, they take it in the open, and even if they look at you and you have no problem, they'll tell you, mzee, hauna kitu kidogo tu uniangalie. And that matatu that is being stopped, it has an engineer, it has a professor, it has an ex-military officer, and we keep quiet. We don't make any noise. Our only noise that we have is to blame the police. I am not defending the police, but the police becomes a product of a rotten society. The last one, which I whispered to the Prime Cabinet Secretary, is about the institutions that we have. The institutions that we have must be strengthened. And I keep on taking pride that this country, if there's anything good about this country, is that this country has got a constitution that has established well-laid institutions that should function for the prosperity of this country. So that's what I'm talking about, that the strategic pillar must look at the political culture, and the public, they must change on how they do their business and their support, and then we look at institutions, that is the judiciary, the ODPP, the Office of the Auditor General, and all other groups. And Your Excellency, I can assure you of our commitment and dedication to execute our mandate in line with our core values of fidelity to the law, integrity, teamwork, innovation, professionalism, and courage. Sir, being one of the senior politicians in this country, there has always been noise that when we sometimes nab some powerful people, the next thing is that we are being misused politically. EACC is a very neutral, professional organization that works within the law, and we do carry out our mandate in a very neutral way without any political interference.
Impunity are men and women who have been given positions of authority, of power, of leadership to help guide this nation to the place where it will deliver for the people of this nation. But instead of doing that, they use that power, that authority, that space to steal the resources with wanton abandon, believing or knowing that there is nothing you can do to them. And so they do whatever they please because of the positions that they hold. And so I have come across in my short while in office cases of men and women who are in such places, but you can see they are using those offices, whether small or big, to steal from us. A second group of people are men and women who are simply greedy. Some of them have no office in government. Some of them have proxies in government. But these men and women are filthy rich. They are well-resourced. They have money. They have property. They have wealth. But they are not satisfied. So they're looking for more. And they will look for every opportunity to steal from the public, sometimes using proxies, sometimes directly. When you look at them, you wonder, what more do you want? You already have more than most Kenyans. So why are you putting your hands into the pot where all of us would like to eat from? It is greed. This issue is not going to be a one-man show. It is not an EACC matter. As we've been told, we are only about 700 people who are working in EACC. We are 45 million, going to 50 million Kenyans. A significant percentage of those people are working day and night to steal our resources. 700 of us cannot stop them because we cannot be everywhere. But if we join hands, all of us, and we become intolerant to corruption wherever we are, we can get rid of this thing. And so as we set this strategic plan, we are going to be calling upon you as different stakeholders so that you can help us in this fight against corruption. From the civil society, to the media, to the criminal justice sector, to leaders in government and outside of it, let us all work together so that we can fight this vice and make Kenya the darling and the example of Africa. As a nation that is corruption-free, we have everything going for us if only we disciplined ourselves.
Corruption poses a severe existential threat to our aspirations, and all agencies charged with preventing it must now be put on red alert. You must ask yourselves why corruption thrives in our midst despite the taxpayer footing the bills of many anti-corruption agencies. Research indicates that corruption undermines development and service delivery by diverting development resources to personal gain of a few individuals. Loss of tax revenue, increasing the cost of doing business, and therefore deterring investments, distorting public expenditure and allocation of talent, reducing economic efficiency, and slowing down administrative processes. All these drags and makes the implementation of government policies and programs a most odious, ineffective undertaking. I confidently speak to this because I have been a victim of this maleficence in the setting up of the office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary. A key partner in the war against corruption in the parastatal sector is the Inspectorate of State Corporations. I am pleased to inform you that under its new domicile in the Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Inspectorate is undergoing a comprehensive revamp and rejuvenation to strengthen its capacity to take on corruption and misappropriation of funds in state corporations. This rejuvenation is not a symbolic posture or gesture. We mean business. The revamp is our firm declaration of commitment to upholding integrity, transparency, and accountability in state corporations. It is part of the assignment of my office to restore public trust in government institutions, even as we shape a culture of accountability. Under the provisions of the State Corporations Act, Cap 446 of the laws of Kenya, the Inspector General Corporations is vested with extensive powers that include the authority to call for and inspect all relevant records, documents, and premises of state corporations, as well as attend their meetings if necessary. Furthermore, the Inspector General Corporations possesses the authority to disallow unlawful expenditures and surcharge individuals responsible for unauthorized or negligent actions. We are now actively engaged in holding accountable those individuals within state corporations who engage in malpractices. One of the most critical powers vested in the Inspector General is, of course, as I said, the authority to surcharge. Regrettably, because this authority has not been used for years, it has contributed to the inactivity of the State Corporations Appeals Tribunal. The tribunal has been non-functional due to the expiration of the tenures of the chairman and members. I am happy to announce that the tribunal will shortly be operationalized. In this regard, I assure the country that surcharges will soon be part of the arsenal of weapons in our war against corruption. Parliament should fast-track the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023. This is one particular area which has a significant impact on corruption that I am requesting the National Assembly to look into. This is the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023, which was approved by the Cabinet on the 28th of February 2023 and subsequently transmitted to the August House. The bill seeks to provide a framework for the management of conflict of interest on the part of state and public officers arising from the discharge of their official duties. It introduces strong legal safeguards against real, apparent, or potential conflict between the private interests of public servants on one hand and the public interests and their official duties on the other hand. Once enacted into law, it would mark the end of the era where public servants would subordinate their official duties to the private commercial interests. And the young people here gave a very apt demonstration of what this is all about. The bill has undergone its first reading before the National Assembly and is in the pipeline for the second reading. I humbly request that the House fast-tracks this. There are also some retrogressive bills. As I talk of that conflict of interest bill, let me also highlight that there are two bills currently before the National Assembly which raise significant concerns in the ongoing battle against corruption. Both of those bills are titled the Anticorruption and Economic Crimes Amendment Bill 2023. One is proposed by Honorable Peter Kaluma, and the other 6 amendments presented by Honorable Geoffrey Ruku. These bills, if passed and enacted into law, have the potential to reverse the progress achieved in the fight against corruption. Honorable Kaluma's bill aims to amend the Anti-Corruption Economic Crimes Act of 2023 by removing the provision disqualifying individuals convicted of corruption or economic crimes from holding public office. On the other hand, Ruku's bill seeks to decriminalize certain aspects of public procurement, property disposal, contract tendering, fund management, and expenditure. If these proposed amendments are accepted, they will open the door for individuals with corruption histories to hold public office and offer significant leniency to those inclined toward corrupt practices within the public sector. This is not to say I do not respect the independence of our government's branches. I recognize the substantial interdependence among them. Therefore, I kindly request the two members of Parliament to consider withdrawing their bills. We must remember that we can only defeat corruption if we stand together in unity of purpose and effort. Our citizens must also be fully engaged in the fight against corruption by first and foremost saying no to corruption and secondly, reporting corruption to EACC whenever they witness it. Citizens must also understand that one of the most effective ways to contribute to the fight against corruption is by electing leaders of unwavering integrity to public office and ensuring that state officers are not only qualified, but also maintain their suitability throughout their tenure. Consequently, the government will provide ample resources to empower the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to effectively implement the civic preventive strategies outlined in the strategic plan.